Today we're running a junior leadership package for kids in the local area, basically getting kids in an army environment using military models to establish their leadership principles and work on their techniques and understanding of what leadership and management actually is. This afternoon we're having some discussions. The topics are going to range from is war legal to what is knife crime. And that's why I say it takes more courage to walk away. Someone comes at you with a knife, okay, they're maybe even a little bit more crazy than that. And then you walk away. I'd run away, they've got a knife. But that's why I say you got to walk away. It takes so much more courage to back down and say no, I don't want that. I don't want this continual escalation. And also they're going to be doing some command tasks, which is assessing their leadership based around various military scenarios, the likes of getting a fuel container out of a minefield using different props and instruments. Major Jim Skelton has invested a lot of time into community outreach and actually being a part of this community. Barracks is pretty much the reason that the whole area has developed. It's the reason there's a tube station at Hounslow West. Jim Skelton's really put his hand out and it's been grabbed by the Hounslow Council. And this has massive parallels with what we're going to be doing in Afghanistan, talking to the locals, explaining exactly what we're doing out there and reaching out to them. So although this is at home talking to local school kids, it is very similar to the model that we'll be using in Afghanistan.
I'm off to Afghanistan in April. I will be the last person out because my role at the moment is to get everybody's flight sorted and make sure that they actually fly out to Afghanistan safely when they're supposed to fly out. When I get out there, I'll be in Camp Bastion and I'll be looking after something called OPLOC, which is basically tracking all the individuals, because we won't all be in the same place, we'll all be moving around at different times, so I'll be keeping a track of people, keeping a track of casualties. I'll also be looking after the civilians, the Afghanistan people who come and work on the camp. My job is to manage them and also to sort out people's rest and recuperation period, which is usually midway through the tour for about 2 weeks, making sure people can get out of Afghanistan for 2 weeks, get home, get a bit of rest, see the families and then get back out again. And then once that's all done, at the end of the tour I'll be making sure everybody gets the flight back to the UK. Once everybody's flown, then I'll be leaving myself to come home. I'm actually not too worried about going. I've done an op tour before. I know roughly what it's about. It would be nice just to go to an area where you're making a difference basically. I don't mind doing the job, I enjoy my job, so I can imagine being busy out there for 6 months. It's going to fly by, I'm going to learn a lot from it, and I'm going to save money as well and maybe get a tan. When we first moved to Hounslow, we invited some of the local people into the camp just to say hello, we're here now, we'd just like to introduce ourselves to you and get to know the community a lot better. And I remember some of the locals commented that this was the first time they'd been inside the camp gates in the 40 years that they'd been living here, so we were the first battalion to invite them in. And it broke down a lot of barriers and perceptions about who they were in our minds and who we were and what we did in their minds, and it really worked. Just understanding each other just goes such a long way to making the relationship work. So why else do we think there is conflict, Tom? You girls have the next 2 days is just getting the groups together. They're all in mixed groups, so some of them won't know each other, and just getting them to enter debates, to go on to the command task area where they'll be asked to play out scenarios and solve problems as a group, and just basically promote the values of the army, teamwork, discipline, loyalty, and so on and so on. And it's about fun as well, because they're away from school. We want them to enjoy it, but we also want them to learn from it, and just to give them a bit of an idea of how we do things and what our life's about.